All right, here we go.
It seems rather strange that EA would abandon a franchise like Dead Space and then publish a game like Fuse. Where Dead Space had a rabid following and introduced some great ideas, Fuse manages to remain securely mediocre for most of its run. That doesn't mean that it's a bad game, but it certainly doesn't trump some of the other franchises that have been abandoned. Fuse is intended to be experienced as a 4-player co-op game, and it shows in almost every aspect of the design, both good and bad. Each player takes control of a member of an elite group of operatives called Overstrike 9. The 4 operatives have their specialities. One handles stealth, another is the medic, the third does things at a distance, and the last is all about close combat. Each operative also has a special weapon powered by alien fuse technology, possessing unique effects in combat. The game then pits the player against waves of enemies in a variety of settings. If played in this way, Fuse is a great time killer despite its flaws, but as a single-player game it leaves a lot to be desired. Almost everything about Fuse is middle of the road. This includes the way the game looks and sounds. The graphics are good, but they're not great. The environments are detailed, but not overly so. The character models are well created, but never really reach beyond the run-of-the-mill. Special effects abound in the form of explosions and fuse effects, but they are there because they need to be. The voice acting is of a decent standard too, and serves the purpose of defining the characters a little more, but once again, we're talking mediocre. The performance by the voice actors does not stand out in the very crowded gaming market. Real differences become apparent when the game is actually being played. When taken on as a 4-player co-op effort, Fuse can be a lot of fun, even if it has nothing that really elevates it to anywhere near greatness. It's basically a fun way to kill a few hours. The game dynamics really lean towards forcing co-op play. Players will need to rely on each other for support, as the various roles of the 4 characters imply. This reliance is what makes the single-player experience a weak one. While the AI governing teammates is actually fairly good, it isn't good enough. The player will find the actions of the AI-controlled teammates frustrating at times and infuriating at others. The AI simply doesn't get the job done well enough that the player can enjoy the title fully if they're playing solo. This is particularly apparent in the few timed missions that the player comes across. Getting through them while playing alone takes superhuman effort, because the AI-controlled teammates are not quite effective enough. The single player can switch between characters, true, but it simply does not help in mitigating the game's single-player flaws. In addition, Fuse falls prey to bugs from time to time, which affect anything from in-game triggers to the camera. The plot in this title seems to be something of an afterthought. It's like the developers wanted an excuse to make a game with lots of action, and tacked a plot on because they thought it was needed. Elements like the alien technology in the game or the aliens themselves are never fully explored, if they are explored at all, and character development is next to none. That leaves all the entertainment that Fuse provides coming in the form of lots of action and challenging opponents. Fuse has both of these in spades, but the more discerning players are going to find the lackluster narrative and poor character development to be almost as annoying as the AI. Being a multiplayer game, Fuse offers a lot of replay value, but one playthrough is likely all that most players will give it. And if those players are going to go it alone, they might not even get that far. Insomniac Games have, in the past, produced better titles than Fuse. While it is entertaining, it feels unfinished. Instead of standing out in either a good or bad direction, Fuse manages to float along in a pool of mediocrity, with little in the package that is notable.